Okay. Good evening to our listener out there. Uh, especially our studio guest, Henrietta Mature, one of the this podcast, Military Connection, our host today. This audio we have our dear sister couple from she live in Canada. We have co-host Woody Couple in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have Elijah from the Twin City, Minnesota. So we're glad to have you on the show here and want to greet our listener out there in Liberia, in the diaspora, wherever you are. If you can just do a favor, you can just share the show for us. We appreciate it. So, we'll be starting the show and welcome. Let me just have a welcome to everybody. A couple. We have another your friend female on the show today. What's your take when it comes to the female gender?
Thank you, Dr. Toto. Again, I would like I told you when we were discussing about our guests, I think I told you that I know Sis Henrietta from the women group. She once served as vice president for the National Women Rights, Sis Henrietta. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, she was served as vice president for the National Women.
Yeah,
I'm so
you're
happy to
right.
have her on. Yeah. She would talk, we would hear her, but she's a strong lady that I know of. Yeah. So if you want to say what is Henrietta, I'm so glad that you are here. And I'm happy that you will
Thank you.
push gender justice from all
The issue.
direction. Yeah. Yeah. I'm cool for my end. Canada is school. Let me just do my intro. Canada is school. We got a nice weather today. Our weather is nice. I went to church just like that. I did not have to wear hello what winter coat. No. So can you imagine like this? Meaning our weather
I
is
know. You see,
yeah.
I went for African
I
today.
know.
So,
So
with
once
it.
again, welcome and welcome to everybody, all of our co-hosts, our hosts, our listener up there. Want to say welcome.
So, with it, before I introduce our guests, what's your take? How Atlanta, Georgia? What you think all our guests? What do you expect to hear from her? You meet her with it?
Yeah, sorry about that. So, as you know, that I told you that our guest, this edition of MLC Talk is long, uh, um, you know, long overdue. I mean, everyone is excited. We've been talking about other initiatives, other programs in our church. When it comes to climate justice, when it comes to uh, racial justice, when it comes to finance, when it comes to service and leadership, in public service, and also when it comes to the women, the men, the youth. But one key piece with that, we all been looking up to, and that has been gender justice. So I'm glad our sister is here. Sis Henrietta is here, and I want to tell you, Sis Henrietta, that MLC Talk is a platform where when you come one time, always come back again. So this is not one said and done. Just know that we're going to be calling you up again very shortly. We'll be calling you again to keep discussing. And if you have any other issue that you want us to discuss, this is the platform all about Lutheran. We discuss all things Lutheran. But quickly, before I go back to
I'm
you
always
again,
going to.
oh, thank you so much, man. Dr. I think this something is happening in in our world, in our climate world. The fact that couple can go to church in a very clean attire, and as well as you that are total, and we had to go to church today in Georgia with winter jacket. Something is happening. I think I don't want to, I don't want to be so swift to accuse people, but we're investigating right now. And the governor Governor Krim has ordered an investigation. And why people in the
Okay.
north are wearing sleeveless clothes and we are here wearing winter clothes,
Yeah.
we can a serious investigation on that. So
Thank you. You put it
yeah.
where we'll try to help the governor investigate that.
No, sorry, I'm
Elijah,
very serious about it. We don't play when Georgia don't play, so we got to investigate what's happening. Are people turning things around in this place? We don't know.
Yes.
Okay,
Elijah,
let's get to
Bye.
gender justice.
let's listen to Elijah because Minnesota where we talk about brutal weather.
Yes.
They are experiencing hot. So I,
unfortunately for you guys, I got a good news for you. Because this week, Minnesota has been super, super hot. Today we got 54.
wow,
So, oh yeah, yesterday we were 50 somehow. Today again we're 54. So the snow is melting. We can see the ground and everything is going away. So
that's good.
right now, right after the show, we go to the park to go walk around. So we
It's
were
raining
very
cats in,
excited.
in Georgia. It's raining in Georgia very heavily.
So
There you go.
Elijah,
Yeah,
Thank
our
God.
our guest Henrietta, what is your take?
yeah.
What do you
Yes.
expect to hear from her?
And first of all, I want to say welcome to the show. Since Harriet Mato, this is my Lutheran connection. Like the previous host have said, um, the issue of gender justice, it has a lot of cross-cutting issues associated with it. And I'm excited that we have a Lutheran who is also serving in this role in our church and serving society. So I'm excited to kind of hear about some of the things that she's doing or she has been doing, and to also see some of the recommendations that she has for the church or the community as well, or the government of Liberia. So I'm excited that she's here, that we all can explore this topic together. And as we try to find the
Thank you,
intersectionality,
Elijah.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
So welcome to the show.
So Elijah, thank you so much. Thank you to our host, our co-host. I will just give a brief history of Henrietta. Then I will ask them. I will just do a one intro, and then we'll start with our sister couple from the Eve gender background to ask two questions to our sister, and then we'll come in to ask two questions. Then we'll take the discussion out. But since Henrietta, she's a social worker, she's a health practitioner. She had a degree in school theology, and also she's a nurse from TNI in the Tolman Medical Institute in Liberia.
Oh
So,
no.
so she had the gender justice coordinator of the Lutheran Church in Liberia. I have followed her work in Liberia, especially some time ago. I think on front page Africa carrying detail of some of her work in the Crucial era, was advocating for gender justice for youth. And I feel that there's a need for to bring on the show, to know more about her. And when we talk about gender justice, it may be to think about the Catholic Justice and Peace Commission Liberia that contributed extremely well when it comes to ending the war in Liberia. And now we have a society in Liberia where youth are being deprived their right. We see gender violence, we see mob justice in Liberia. I just saw a video yesterday. There was a gentleman they accused him of eating, and everybody thought it was beating him. In fact, they wanted to kill him. There's a lady that opened her shop and had to get a guy to enter his shop. So we see Bob Justice in Liberia, we see gender justice. And the Lutheran Church in Liberia is very instrumental in kind of, we have the tribal healing, we have the AIDS program, Liberia, the AIDS and malaria program. So to see us going into that direction, to advocate for gender justice in Liberia, so he was only for Lutheran Church in Liberia. So it's very important that we work on our sister on our show to see the type of work that she's doing and what some of the impact that she's doing in Liberia, that can help to motivate us to support her work in Liberia. So since you're right, I will say welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just give you a few seconds to just to say one or two
Okay,
things.
again, I'm happy to join you because it's been like almost 2 months since we started the discussion. When you invited me, like you said earlier, I saw the invite, and then I didn't know the name, and you were like, I'm this person. So I said, no, I'm not very satisfied. So can you tell me the name of the bishop of the Lutheran Church in Liberia? And you laugh. And then you wrote quickly. So I said, okay, because a lot of people on the social media scanning nowadays. So I cannot just open conversation with you when I don't know you. And so I'm glad again that today we can all be talking. And my sister Kopo Sele, a well known name in the Lutheran Church women
fellowship, a name that will never be forgotten, and Kopo Sele. So Kopo Sele, I'm happy again to meet you on the social media. And my brother Zina from the St. Peter Lutheran Church also, not too long when he came to bury his dad, and we're all together. So I'm also happy to be with you people. And like you said, we are here. Whatever the little that we are doing is a privilege and opportunity for us to be able to share it, because through sharing your work, sometimes you get to get support, or you get to get some idea or opportunity. So I'm happy to be with you.
Thank you. Welcome, Senator. Senator, just before I bring couple in to ask couple to ask you a question, uh,
Mhm.
which parish do you fellowship with? Or what is your parish?
St. Peter, St. Peter.
St. Peter
St.
Lutheran.
Peter's, man, she just said it. The model parent, the biggest one,
Peter,
too.
St.
The
Peter.
part I can,
So,
the part I can red chair be bouncing.
so Elijah,
Forget it.
Yeah,
Elijah, or
you
something.
can hear something, oh.
St.
I
Peter.
know, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
something, man.
So, Senator, there was a time ago in Front Page Africa. I saw you had the news. You carry on some work in I think the cruise of your Millsboro area. You want to share light on that? What type of work was that?
Well, we are there doing awareness and advocacy. So some time ago, there was this guy who killed his fiancée and the daughter, and we went into that to make sure that justice is served. We're working with other groups to ensure that he will be arrested, and when arrested, that whatever the situation, justice can be served. So that was the work. And besides that, we are there. Just the other time, the 16 days of active vaccine, we went all in those communities, because wherever the church is, and not just the church, but wherever we are, into the community, our targeted community, and that area having to be one of our targeted communities. So we always there with different work.
Okay, that's good. Since couple, you want to come in? To, and then two questions to ask our guests.
Oh, yes, Dr. Toto, thank you so much. And Sister Rita, I want to say welcome again. Like for Dr. Toto said, we have been hearing about you. We have been seeing your work. Just want to tell you to keep it up. When it comes to gender justice, there are a lot of things to be done. And it's very tense, especially where I don't think the support is in full. So it requires a lot of resources. And thank you so much for the little you are doing with that insufficient funding. I know there will always be need for funding when it comes to such a work be done, especially from Liberia. Just want to say keep it up. But my question it has to do with what is the scope of your work as a gender justice directress when it comes to our church?
So we are with the church. We got this funding from the Evangelical Lutheran Church in the America, ELCA. They are our funder. They gave us a funding for 3 years. We're going year.
Cool. No, no, no.
And activities. Hello?
Yeah, come in. We hear you now.
So, internet. Hello?
Okay, hear you. Okay, hear you.
We can hear you,
Hello?
ma'am. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay. So that is what we are getting funding from. And for now, we are operating in 2 counties. And the 2 counties are Moserado and Bon County. And so in Moserado and Bon County, we are now also in all of the districts, because like I just said, only ELCA funding us. And we all know that faith-based organization, most of the time it is difficult for funding because it has a lot of bureaucracy. So with the little funding that we have, the 2 counties that we are operating in, our major focus is around the community of the Lutheran Church, because we have also women empowerment in our budget. And for the women empowerment, we provide the opportunity for women to go to other skill training or vocational schools, where we pay the tuition or we pay the fees for them to learn that skill and be able to do one or two things. And most of those who get those opportunities are women whose children are survivors of gender-based violence. So, because we know that most of the time, some of these issues of gender-based violence happen because of the vulnerability of the parent. For example, the women who send the children to go sell. If a woman is there sending the children to go sell, or she herself have to do one or two hustle, most of the children are at risk in that direction. So when we get the kind of survivors,
yeah, the internet problem, like
Yeah, internet.
yeah. But I think that go to the discussion. I think she raised a good point. In terms of the funding, which is very good to hear that she get funding for the ELCA.
Yes, you too. Yes.
And they are doing some good work in Liberia, especially in Mosul and Bon County. So that's good to hear that.
And Brother Toto, she said the funding is for 3 years, right? From
Mhm.
ESC. And they're going 1 year now within the 3 year. What is the fallback position now? Just in case tomorrow the 3 years elapse, right?
Yeah,
Where would they begin from, or will it be the end of the gender justice program? What is her fallback position after the 3 years project?
I think that's a good question. I did look at the scope of operation. I think some of the project they are giving amendment. Based upon your TD year, they kind of review your program and see some of the progress you made and some of your failure. Based upon that, maybe you can try to end the program to the next level. But I just partake. What you guys think?
Yeah, and another thing I see that would be very helpful is that why they have the 3 years you know program mandate with the ELC or sponsorship with the ELC. They can start sourcing other funding from other donors out there. There are some other it, it could be ecumenical group or non-religious groups out there that are willing to sponsor gender justice initiative. So the general justice program don't have to sit and wait until the 3 years time expire or wait for that amendment to see if they are going to qualify or not. What if their current donors say, listen, man, we can't continue, all right, and they decide to cut the rope right there. Now they have to start to perhaps reinvent the wheel or start to look around, and you'll find out like the progress of that program is going to slow down. Staff members, are going to start looking for other places to, move to, because, that's where they're getting their daily bread. I think that they should use this opportunity this time. They should use this time as a springboard and start reaching out. I mean, let's just say year one, okay? You can look at year one and read a proposal and have other, sponsors to come and sponsor this initiative. Lastly, I would say to this that we had Leo on the show. Okay, Leo talked about something on the last time. He said that what the donors want to see something tangible. So within the 1 year, see those places that they have impacted. I think those are tangible results that potential donors can look at and invest into that, and give a projection and say, this is where we have covered within this time period. But if we have funding, for this is our next 5-year goal or next 3-year goals, these are the things that we want to do. And I'm curious also, hopefully she can come back. I'm curious to ask questions on the issue of publicity. Okay, most of these programs, they are in our church, and most of our people don't know about it. Like our congregation, are they using other means to go out there? Because she said they are not in every district. Nowadays, you don't only have to do sambo and put billboards in other places to know that you are there, but we could use social media. We could use a radio. We could use TV. As I speak to you, the bishop of the ELCA, she has a Twitter page. And when she posts that information, it goes to millions of Lutherans, and people follow her. So I think we should leverage those opportunities. Oh, because she's back.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back.
I say that That Liberia there.
Yeah,
That's
we
okay.
understand. We understand. You know, so yeah, so we're just discussing some of the comment you made earlier on.
Yeah, we're discussing. So,
Yeah.
like I was saying, so it's about that, and so we are working with those community. We got 9 volunteers in the community. We got 9 volunteers. We work through those volunteers. They do awareness raising. We got meeting with school clubs and the community leader. We do advocacy training, and we conduct training on gender-based violence and all of that. So those basically are things we do. And we also do this psychosocial counseling to survivors. We do it in full, like for sometimes we join together with the trauma healing groups where we come, we bring the survivors together to share their problem, have focus group discussion so that they get over some of the situation that they are carrying on. We do a lot that I cannot be able to name all. But basically, we are into the 2 county and we are working with women and girls, men as well. But the idea is survival of gender-based violence because our focus is to reduce sexual gender-based violence and to
Okay,
enhance women empowerment.
Couple, you want to go your next question?
Yeah.
Yes, you had a second question.
Yeah, my second question has to do with the 3 principles of gender justice.
Mhm.
When it comes to the 3 principles of gender justice, we talk about equal right and non-discrimination, equal access to resources, and equal representation and opportunities. Right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
with that, with those 3 principles of gender justice,
principles.
how can you relate them to the church, especially the issue that has to do with sexual orientation, identity, and expression? How can you relate that to the church?
Well, when you say sexual orientation, can you come in a little more?
Okay, the issue of gender justice, we are discussing now both gender, the both sex, right? And now that
Yeah,
day you are
yeah.
man to man, woman to woman, and when we are discussing gender justice, we will not discriminate when it comes to that. And now we do have a gender justice department program within the church. How can we relate that to our church? Knowing that our church is a tradition church, I would say, we do not go that route. So how can we relate that to our church?
Everything just broke. I'm not getting you.
Whatever.
Um,
Can you hear us?
you hear me now?
Can you hear us, Miss Mato? Can you hear us?
I'm not getting you at all.
Can
You're
you can
coming in broken.
can you hear me?
Okay, I just heard you.
Okay.
So, couple's question is, how can we the issue of gender justice? We cannot divorce that from the issue of sexual orientation. So, how is the church pretty much like look? How is the church viewing that aspect of gender justice?
Yeah. For example, somebody come and tell you say I am a lesbian, I'm a gay, I be molested. How will you handle the type
I-
of situation?
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll be clear that that is not part of the work I am doing
Okay.
because I am not involved with that and we are not having that as part of our work. I'll be clear. And the church also, I know that our church is not also involved with that. So we are clear about that. We are concerned about man to man and woman to woman. I mean, man to man. Sorry. We are
Woman.
concerned about woman to man and nothing
Uh-huh.
else about the other side of it. I'm so sorry.
Okay,
I know
yeah.
I want to be a little angry
So,
about that until I hear
no,
know how to
that's
say it.
true.
It's okay, man.
So we are
Calm down. You'll be
discussing.
fine.
Yeah,
You
You'll
it's
be
don't,
fine. Don't
discussing.
worry about
you
it.
don't have
That's
to get angry. We are discussing gender
No,
justice.
no,
And
I
it is part
know,
of gender
No,
no,
she
I
justice.
asked
know
for the
now,
All of
information.
these things are
I'm
included. It is
saying
part of the 3
angry
principles.
because
So
there's
you
a
know how to
situation
tackle that.
around us here. There's a situation around us here the few days is getting so tough in the United Methodist Church.
yeah.
So just hearing that, it drove me
So
the
that
other way around.
yeah. So couple, I mean that couple. Here right now, before I bring before I bring with it
Brother
in.
Toto, can you please let me do another one?
Okay,
Please?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sister Arata talks. She
Women,
talks about her scope of work, and she said they are in like two counties, the Macerado County and Bon County. So, within Macerado County, I would just with the both counties, I would just want to know how many districts you have covered within Macerado and Bon County.
In Macerado, we are in 2 districts in Macerado. We are in District 8 and District number 1 in Macerado. District 8 and District 1 in Macerado. And in Bon County, we are in 3 districts. We are in 1, 2, and 3. So that's what I said earlier, that we are not even covering all because of our limited resources. Because we want to do it and do it better.
A follow-up question to that. Okay, in looking at the limited resources that you are talking about, was it prudent for you to do 2 districts when you are not even cover half of the both district, or to take one at a time and see how best you can cover the first one before extending? What really motivated you to do like 2 districts when the funding is not enough to cover like half of the district of one county?
No, I mean, we are in the 2 districts and we cover the 2 districts and we are doing our best in the 2 districts. We assess our ability and saw the needs in those districts, and that's why we are there. And so we are doing our best and doing well.
Okay.
We cannot cover the entire county, but the 2 districts we are into, we are doing our best.
Okay, thank you, bro. See right up. Before I bring with it in, first of all, want to say Happy Women's Day to our women out there, International Women's Day. I think we celebrated yesterday, and the
Yes.
celebration will go on today. So we want to recognize the work of all our women out there, and also to want to recognize the bravery of our dear sister Molly, wherever she is. She one of our listeners out there. Want to wish you happy birthday. Henrietta, before I bring Woody in, Woody will ask 2 questions, but let me just put a part of your question. Why did you choose Macerado Bon County? Is it because these 2 counties have violence or gender-based violence?
Yes. During the assessments of the project, before the project, these were places that they realized issues of violence. And so that is why the program focused on 2 counties. Why doing it? Most of the time, because we do radio programs, and our radio programs cover a wide range. But when it comes to where our focus is, we are into the 2 places and the 3 districts and 2 districts that are named. But with the radio, you're not limiting it goes a wide range.
Okay, that's good. What do you want to come in?
Based on the assessment.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what do you come in?
Sure, thank you very much, and thank you also, Madam Director or Coordinator. My first question has to do with the fact that you said the ELCA is sponsoring this, which of course we want to thank the ELCA for this for sponsoring this initiative. But you say it's a 3 years program. You've gone year 1. So after year 2, year 3, what next for this program? Miss Harriet, you hear me?
Willie, you got to repeat.
Yeah. So what is the next step? Yeah. So what's the next step when it comes to the gender justice program, the LCA gender justice program? Because the ELCA, the ELCA initial sponsorship is for 3 years. You already gone 1 year, and you have 2 more years. So after the 2 years, what next?
Henrietta, are you there? You hearing us?
I'm
I
there.
think
I'm there, but
he's on
Did
that.
you
he
did you
was
hear what the
breaking
question?
in. So
You're
What
not
it?
getting.
Oh,
he talked about
what
the
it?
first year,
Yes.
and the rest
Go
of the
ahead.
question was not clear.
What the question? What the question is? The ELC is sponsoring the program.
Ooh, the
But,
internet
but,
is
uh,
very, very troubling this. Mhm.
uh, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Yeah. What the question is? You mentioned that ELC is
Mhm.
sponsoring the program. It's a 3-year program. So after the 3 year, what next?
Can Willie come back? Can Willie come back with his question?
Okay.
Yes. So after the 3 year sponsorship, what is the next steps for this program, the gender justice program? She going out.
And that boy seems to be
I
very
think I
terrible
think the
tonight.
problem I think the problem is this whole St. Peter's issue because Cesar Goya just posted and then Elijah went out, he came back, and Henrietta went out. So it's the whole St. Peter's thing. Just
So I don't want to get into
the Russian,
y'all need to start writing blank check to people.
the uh, the Russian tried to infiltrate our system, man.
it.
Sis Henrietta, are you back?
I'm back again.
Okay. So
Did you get the question?
no, she didn't get it. So the question is the ELC is sponsoring the program for 3 years. So we've gone the first year, we got 2 more years. So after the next 2 years, what next for the program?
Well, that is why we are not going to allow the 2 years to finish before we start sorting other opportunity. So maybe outside of the ELCA, the church and the project, we are also looking out for support just so we continue to do the work we've started, because if we wait until the 3 years is over and if the donor is not able to continue, it's going to be a break in with the job we have started. Even though they have not said they will continue, but there are a lot of financial difficulties, challenges. The budget that was given us earlier was just cut down by 10%. For this budget year, we got 10% cut off. So we were told by the donor that they could not do the funding. So this year funding, we had 10% to be reduced. So that is signal that there is a crisis or budget fatigue. So we are already looking out and hoping any group can come into. If we see the opportunity, we'll go for it, we'll bid for it and see how we continue with the project.
All right,
That's cool.
I will just take my second question from one of our viewers. His brother Cesar Goya, one of your St. Peter's Church member. He's asking. He just want to confirm that. Are you saying the data that you guys collected, data exists that Montserrat County and Bonne counties have the highest reported incidence of gender-based violence? Do you just want to just elaborate on that, please?
Well, I'm not giving a statistic, I'm not giving a data, but I said earlier that before the project was start, an assessment was done. And from the survey report, that's how the the needs to the two county. I don't have a data right now. I don't have a statistic, so I cannot be telling you which county carry the highest in gender-based violence for tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then Elijah, you want to take it from there?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Henrietta. Thank you for the contribution on answering those questions. I know when the issue of gender-based violence is alarming, especially in a post-war country, Liberia. We cannot overemphasize the need to do this job. And I heard people talking about the long-term plan for this institution and what are the vision to move this forward um, after the donors um, leave the program. So I don't know what are some of. I would like to listen to some of your exit strategies that you are putting in place, and maybe we can also talk about some innovative methods in order to sustain this program in the long term. But my question is, what has been? I know working in this area is very challenging, so I'd like to understand, specifically working in the field of gender justice in Liberia, what has been the most challenging situation you have dealt with? That would be my first question, and then my next question would be, what are some of the impelling factors that are affecting your role or that are hindrance that are stop you from doing what you want to do?
Thank you. So you started with strategy, and that's something even just somewhere around October when we went to Nairobi, ELCA brought that to our attention and they asked us to get involved with the exit strategy, meaning the parishes, because this is a church work. So they asked that we start to engage the parishes to see how they can be of a support to the project. If it's important, the parishes should see the important and see how they can be of a support. So those are things I even discussed with the bishop, and moving forward, we'll be looking at some of those strategies because it's important that the church take the initiative and see how they can be of a support and help. And you talk about the challenges. It's huge because you and I know our system, especially when it comes to the legal system, because gender issues, they got the needs. Most of the time, our first and foremost focus can be the health, especially when it comes to abuse in other ways. Like rape, for example, health. Health is important. And then the next thing is security and the psychosocial counseling. Then comes the legal aspect that has to do with the court system. And there where our challenge is. As I talk to you, from last year, cases that were forwarded to the court have not been placed on the docket. And again, some of the challenges are also the way the survivor and the caregiver see it. Once you go 1 or 2 months, 3 months, and they're not seeing anything, you go back to them. When they even asking that you carry the survivor to the court for no investigation or they start to give you excuses because they feel now that it's taking too long, they're not seeing any result. In fact, some of them can be very clear to tell you, but I don't see, the only thing I'm happy is my daughter is okay now and she's not sick anymore. I don't really think I have the chance to go to that place because we went the other day, we stayed the whole day, and they're telling us again to go back. So let's just forget it. As soon as they start saying that, when you go back now, they will tell you the girl going somewhere else. And you need to carry the person because they are the witnesses for the legal system. So they will now start to hide a survivor from you, and you will not see them again. Sometimes you call, they don't respond to your call. So it's another challenge for us. And sometimes again to the hospital. Some of the treatment that is needed. When you carry the survivor to the hospital, you have to be strong. If your budget is not, and calling for that, you have to start to network with other agencies for drugs buying. Because they will say this other medication is not available. And if the funding that you have do not have money for you to buy medicine or medication for the survivor, it becomes another situation. So there are a lot of challenges.
That's good. Thank you for that.
What we do to mitigate some of these challenges, we do a lot of referral networking. Because if another entity has the opportunity that they are able to get drugs or they
Folks, you are in tune to MLC Talk. Yeah. This is the platform we discuss all
to
things.
Do transportation. If we don't have it, we try to.
I mean, that's good. So I think I think she expound on that question a lot. Why would do regular that record as our guests, some of that comment, and then we'll whether she can address some other concern, then we'll come back to one round of questioning. So,
All
but
right.
I guess we just want to recognize our viewer out there. There's a question, a concern in the chat room, and then we will read it out so you can listen to that. If you care to make a comment on some of the question, we appreciate some of the comment.
All right, we have Emmanuel Small Cowboy. He's following us from King Jaw. That's my junior brother. Mother Victoria Nangbe Johnson, she's following us. Interestingly, our brother Adama Tombekai, we were just talking about him last Sunday. He's also following us. We want to say thank you for watching, brother Tombekai. The president of the National Lutheran Youth Fellowship, Enoch the Veteran Koma. Thank you so much for following. Also, brother Leroy Molba. I think Elijah will pronounce his middle name. Brother David Molba, we want to welcome you. Say thank you for following us from Zozo, and also as always, our Reverend Small P Kokolo. Sis Clement Guicoli. Clement Guicoli. I remember. I remember. Yeah, I remember quickly. We had a sister at Simafi called Gwikoli. So I think a brother or so. I remember that name. And our sister Royal Nipi Jawi. I want to recognize you. Nipi G. I'm sorry. This Enoch. Yeah. So I think we asked this question already, but Sister Goya, I want to say thank you so much again for following us. But Isaac Fallon Cooper is following us from Kakata. Thank you so much. Tati Colley. Elijah is a female, right?
Yep.
Female Tati Colley from the same church, right? Church on 14th Street.
From the biggest parish in the church, the cathedral. Say the cathedral.
Or the cathedral.
Yes.
The cathedral. All right.
Here you go.
All right. The biggest church I can rep in the checks. And forget.
I hope what they can run driving, brother.
Okay, but when you read check, you might know.
Go check a bounce.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry, brother. I'm so sorry.
So so the line is open. Those I want to call to contribute to the show. You want to ask?
Yes. I'm so sorry, but I will be showing that very shortly.
So
when are you done?
Since started, no. I want to bring. I always let her bring our father last. Father Menipele K. Sumo, father from St. Louis, Missouri, and also want to recognize again our sister Marlon Molbach and Kekula. Want to recognize you this evening. Want to say happy belated birthday. Yesterday was your birthday. A milestone, but we're going to be celebrating here in Atlanta, Georgia during the Aliyah Assembly. So I want to say thank you so much, and happy birthday. Go ahead, Elijah. You want to say something?
Yeah, are you done recognizing people? I know says Henrietta was answering my questions, and then at least at the finishing point she went off. But I just wanted to follow up with what she was saying. I don't know whether she's back on, but probably she might be listening to us. She speaks about the challenges in implementing her role and some of the issues that she dealt with. So as I was listening to her, she spoke about women empowerment. She talked about psychosocial counseling. When we hosted Leo the last time, and Leo said something that usually we narrowed our scope of work to just project based, and then instead of looking at it being institutionalized. Excuse me. I think as a leader, whatever role you are in, you have to be innovative, and your innovation can help expand your scope of work, and it can cover a lot of areas. And what I'm saying is that, like, if the church or the general justice program, if you are providing psychosocial training, you are providing women empowerment, you are paying money to other institutions to train women, what would it take if the general justice department expand her scope and write a project proposal that is research-based, evidence-based, that is very wide, that covers a lot of areas of improvement in the work you are doing, because you are talking about empowerment. So what would it take if you talk about, we have survivors that gets back into the community, and then if follow-up is not done, situation happens, and then the case doesn't get solved. But if you want to care for these people, if the General Justice Department wrote a proposal and said we want to build an institution, and we want to institute within that institution, we want to have vocational training, we want to have psychosocial counseling here in this institution, not in the field or maybe in Banga or in Monserrato County. You have the center, a place where people can come, and over there you can also, that you got your time down, you got this and that, that you can have different programs, because when you keep people busy, it's a way of empowering them. And let's take for that instance, even the drugs people in the street, if you take them through counseling and leave them and put them back into the streets, they go back, they relapse quickly because there's nothing to keep them busy. But why if the Lutheran Church in Liberia has a site where, if I got this guy off the street and I rehabilitated him and then I put him to work, I start empowering him, he's in that program. And then we move down into the church is talking about agriculture. Over there, you open an agriculture farm. The people that are on that side, they start getting busy with agriculture. You start producing egg, you start producing potato, you start producing banana. So you are empowering people, making people busy, at the same time helping the society to be better. But many a times we have this program, we go, we have workshops, we go, we have counseling, and then when we turn around, the situation remains the same. So how are we helping to change the situation if we're just providing training and turning our backs? Because if you don't empower somebody, if I'm a drugs addict, yeah, you took me through how many months of counseling, and then I'm sober, but now I'm walking in the community, I'm not doing anything. Where's the way forward for me? So we have to start looking at the long term. What impact we want to leave in the society as a church. So we have to have some long term goal that will change the situation forever. So if when we rescue the people, we rehabilitate them, we should be able to empower them and then put them back into society to be meaningful citizens. But if we're not doing that, we just say, oh, the person was a victim. We took them to court. We took the people to court. They ran after the case. Now they're going back to the society. But how can you rehabilitate that person? If a person is a survivor, and you took that person with that trauma, you put them through psychosocial counseling, and then you empower them with some skill, and then you put them into society with a skill and keeping them busy. There'll be nothing that will distract them, because that person has a skill and they are basic, they are working on it. So what I'm trying to say is that our
Elijah, try to
leaders,
wrap it
our
up.
people in this position should look at the long-term impact we want to make on society as it relates to the kind of program the church is running. And we have to be very evidence-based and should talk about data. If you have a data, the data is proven, the research is proven. Those are the information you need to use to widen your scope of action for fundings from other people who want to help this kind of program.
Yeah, answer that point, Elijah. These are some of the points
Thank you.
I want to raise also
Thank you
too.
so much, Brother Elijah. Those are all beautiful suggestions and points. And I assure you that your point is well taken. But equally so, while we wait to exercise some of your suggestions that you have just made, like I said, we continue to work through the referral pathway and the networking. So, but I take your point. We'll try to look in that direction.
Thank you, Henrietta. We'll be asking one more question each to close out. But before we get it, let me just ask you two questions. Or the first question is, within the Lutheran Church in Liberia, within our church, have anybody come to you to report any gender violence to you, especially young girls or young boys within our church? Have they ever come to you to report any kind of violence that are committed against in terms of sexual violence.
That is
And
a confidential issue.
yeah, I know, but
I cannot be telling you
skill
today.
level that what the skill level.
I have to
I
call
know
him.
you not
Oh
quite that
yeah,
name. You not quite that
yeah.
name, but
But you
just
know now,
somebody.
we work with
Yeah.
it. We work with the church as well. So definitely, yes, we receive survival from the church.
Okay. So how did you deal with that? How did you deal with that? Did you prosecute them? The people that
Some of the cases do not call for prosecution.
okay.
So yeah,
And
not
then,
all
and then
gender-based violence cases call for prosecution. Some just call for psychosocial counseling and conferences that can
okay.
minimize, whatever result.
And then also too, are you working with the gender ministry to deal with some of the cases? I know the gender minister, Baby Harris, our dear sister,
Uh,
real good
Dr.
friend.
Tulu,
Yeah.
sorry to
If I'm
interrupt.
working
We
with
have
her,
we have a caller.
Okay, you
if
call
I'm
up.
working with her, we work with the
Yeah.
gender ministry, with
Yeah,
their
I see
gender,
if you
the
receive
various
any.
gender directors.
Okay,
They
that's good.
got gender coordinator in all of the county. So we work with the coordinator, not with the minister, but we work with the gender ministry indirectly.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. We just take that
Okay.
call. See what they got to say.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, hello everybody in studio. By the way, before I start my comment, I want to say that I belong to the Alpha of the Lutheran movement in Liberia, the Alpha Church, the one church, the only church. Everything else are preaching point. St. Peter Lutheran Church.
Where do you find equal?
I mean, just ask your question. Just make a comment. Don't come up with preaching prayer.
I just telling you, everywhere else are preaching point. Having said that, though, you guys know me. I'm always critical about every program that come on my Lutheran Connection because 1 minute. Because I really love the church, but this is one that I don't have a critique of, but some suggestion. The reason I asked my sister about the data was because I was kind of interested. I thought maybe there was something that exists that shows that, but I was not to kind of throw any dirt on the work they're doing. I know the Lutheran Church usually focuses a lot in Bond County and in Lutheran County and in Monserrato, so that's not even a big deal. But here is my suggestion for you, just in line with what my brother was saying earlier. Would it be okay for you all, knowing that you're having these budget cuts, you want 10% cut, you don't know what's going to happen next time, to just kind of maybe shrink your focus and have a niche and just focus on that niche and just do that really, really well, and then just refer to other places. I know it's difficult for you to cut out part of gender justice, right? You can't go, we're not going to do the court part, we're not going to do the psychosocial, we're not going to do the psychosocial. Everything go together. But when you're looking at money right now, maybe that's one thing you think about. The next thing I wanted to talk about is that I hope you folks are also considering that there are collateral damage, and I hate to call it that way, but that's the only appropriate thing I can find right now to say. Whenever there is gender violence, there are collateral damage. So the kids that are in the home that see those violences, they go to school. What are we doing, if anything, to start to teach our teachers to be aware of those signs and symptoms and how to be able to support those students? I am speaking from this as a classroom teacher because I know there are students that come to my classroom that's experienced violence. And sometimes if there's just a sudden drop of a book, like a boom, it kind of shocks them. Sometimes getting too close to them and touching them on the shoulder is not a good thing for them. It kind of triggers them and triggers a lot of things. What are we doing what are you guys doing to try to train those teachers? And if you can do that, then you can, I think kind of monetize it, and instead of just being the Lutheran school teachers that are now aware of gender-based violence and support for children from those homes, you can also start training other school teachers. And I think that will be a way to kind of expand on how you raise money and how you sustain a program. But I wanted to say to you, my sister, this is God's work. It is just close to home because I've seen it firsthand in the United States with children that come from homes that experience gender-based violence. And I want to say to you, there's a lot of things that the church does, but this one I think is really God's work. So blessings to you, and thanks to the guys in studios. Like I say, I'm always very critical, but this one really touched me. And thanks to you all for the work you're doing.
You're not critical today because you're from St. Peter. The next time you write check, it should be cash.
Thank you, Cece, for that. for that.
Thank
For
you
that.
Say a
so
check
much.
bounce.
Thank
rather,
you.
you want to comment on that, or what brother sister said?
Well, I don't think it need comment. I think it just need appreciation because he's making a lot of good suggestions, which I think is good for us to do. So I just appreciate him. That's why I said thank you to him.
All right, thank you. So we kind of wanted on the show, so we just permit you to stay with us a little bit, so we can ask, so the guest, the co-host can ask one question, and then you can respond to the question. They will try to take your final comment to close out the show. So we're going to go back and give our sister or couple city. So if you have any final comment or any final question to our host.
Okay, Princess Henrietta presentation, she talks about the issue of skill training. Um, I just want her to please elaborate on that a bit, whether the skill training is only for the survivor or within our church, that is those women within our church, whether you are considering them too or only for survivor.
I got portion of the question you talk about. I talk about skill training, but then you said whether they are what. I didn't get that part. It was
Okay, the
broken.
skill training program you talk about, is it only for the
Mhm.
survivor of gender-based violence, or you have included some of our women, or you are working along with the women department in implementing the skill training program?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I said the skill training program is something we have in place for the caregiver and the survivors. A survivor of gender-based violence, after assessing the situation, especially getting over, we sometimes see the need that they be referred to skill training program. We also do that to reduce further harm, because sometimes the situation happen because of either being ignorant or being, vulnerable to some other condition. So when we assess it, we can also refer you to skill training program, and we pay, as well as some of the caretaker also, the caregiver. So we also send into skill training program, and we are also working with the church women. So for example, the Lutheran, the national women, they refer some women that they have identified among the groups that needed assistance or empowerment, and they said it was good for the people to go for skill training. We paid this training, money, and they went to this training of their choice, and some have graduated.
For the women that have been, how long that you are talking about, you guys pay the money? Because if my memory can serve me right, I'm from the Partnership Parish. There were a couple of women that we sponsor them, our parish department sponsor them for the skill training. This is why I'm asking whether your skill training
Then now you see,
in
we have
line with
women from
the
other
women.
parishes. Yeah, we have women from other parishes too that were referred to our project
Oh,
that received training.
oh.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. What would it come in? Just
And
before would it
just
come
a
in?
follow up before when he comes in, a follow up. After you people have trained the caregiver and the survivor, can you people do any follow up after that have been done to see whether they are doing well, whether
Oh yes.
they are using the skill that they obtain?
Mhm.
Is there any follow up on that?
Yes, that is part of that's one of the serious aspect of our job. We do serious follow up on beneficiaries that have gained the kind of opportunity to ensure that what you got, you are putting it into use and it is benefiting you. Because we spend time on it, we spend money. And so if you just learn it and you sit down without using it, it's not going to be good for us and for you. So we do follow up on them.
Okay, thank you.
That's good. Would it you want to come in or just before would it come in? Next Sunday will be hosting Reverend BBC on the show. You'll be our guest. So to our listener out there, please tune in for next Sunday. It will be very interesting to listen to Reverend BBC.
Yeah,
What do you want
the
to come?
Reverend Bartholomew B. Collins. Yeah. So so actually mine is not really like a question. I just want to make a comment, and I will try to really try to be brief. Sister Rita, I want to thank you so much for the work that you are doing, for taking upon this tax when called upon. That Brother Sister Guia mentioned that the work you are doing, or we all are doing, we expect our reward from God. But when I listen to you and the work that you and your team, the work that you guys are doing. I think you will need a little bit more help. I also listened to my colleague Elijah Zena. He also proposed some good methods to you guys. So this is what I would suggest, that if you can get in touch with them, after here, so that some of these great ideas you can try to see how you can add that, and to your program, and see how best it can help enhance the work that you are doing, and especially on the issue of innovation. Another thing too, I know you did talk about the church or the congregation, but you did not talk about the congregation in details. What I was expecting also to hear is that the work you are doing with the various congregations, because our people are in the congregation, and the messages, if the messages have been shared in the various congregation, like maybe if we take time, like either every Sunday we target a parish and go to this congregation and share with them, ask the church to give you 15 minutes and you just share with them. And also you talk about the women, and you are heavily involved with the women. I agree to that, but also you could work with the men, and the men and the youth, because this issue, it has to be tackled from all fronts. It's not only the women that suffer these violence, but the men also suffer these violence, as well as our youth play also a very important role. So this is just an advice to our sister, Sis Henrietta, and I hope that the work they are doing, that other donors will see this and try to invest into the program that they are working with. Yeah, but I really do appreciate her, especially with all of the challenges, from Liberia when it comes to networking. They are actually doing their best.
Yeah, that's a very good point you raised with it. I think she fall off the line.
Yeah, she went off the line.
One of the things of the podcast here, we are not just only to showcase the good work of our people,
Right.
but
Or
to
the ugly part. No.
give them to come up with a recommendation, positive
Right.
recommendation
Right.
that
Yeah.
will help to empower them, especially the suggestion that Elijah raised.
Yes.
You also brought a good point in whether she can try to network with Elijah or
Yeah.
Sister,
Is it? Yeah.
to work on some of the recommendation, and that's a good nature of this show here. We don't just want to just talk, or provide tangible recommendation to help in the process. Which I hope that our host will be able to tap into the resources. That's the reason why we brought her on the show here, to showcase her, to follow the good work that she's doing in Liberia, so we can all partner to support her to be successful. Because when it comes to gender-based violence in Liberia, it's just so off track. If you follow, especially the one that talk about mob justice, I know some of your follow some of the video from Liberia where somebody just been accused of stealing with all no court order of arrest. They just beat that person to death.
That's complete
So,
violence against that person.
yeah, so it happened a lot. I saw one this morning again. It kind of break my heart. They almost killed that guy. If that lady was not coming to go open a shop to rescue him, come to kill him. And then the issue was rape also too in our community among young girls, young boys in Liberia is something that even during our day when we were young in Liberia, those are things were happening. They were talking about a society where we're going through series of civil conflict, war. You see a whole lot of vulnerability out there that affect young children. So for our church to take that direction, to advocate for gender-based violence is something good that we all should support her and give her the necessary support or the skill that they need, the financial support, the resources, we all can work together. That's the reason why we brought the show for the showcase to see who she is. But Elijah, what do you have to say? why we try to wait for.
Oh, that I thought that, thank you, and thank you to the rest of the my colleagues. It was a rather good conversation, and I really like the work that she's doing. Like I said earlier, the need for this program in Liberia cannot be overemphasized. Our country is struggling. We have a lot of mental health situation in the country. We have a lot of less fortunate people in the country. We have a lot of people who are less busy in the country, and people are going through so many different things in the country. So the need for psychosocial counseling, the need for gender justice, the need for people to advocate for our people is very much huge. So all I can say is that there's a need for the church to be rather innovative around this situation, around this program, to see the sustainability of this program after 3 years. And I think even the donors they're working with right now, if you develop a real robust project based around your data that you have, and you present your idea to the donor and say this is the route we want to go based on your experience and the challenges that you've dealt with, and this is how you want to fulfill it in order to have a lasting impact within the community. I think the donors would be very happy to see you being very innovative and looking into the future for a long and lasting impact of what they're wanting to do. So I just want to encourage them to continue doing what they're doing, but at the same time being very innovative and being strategic about the sustainability of this program.
Yeah, definitely. So like we hosted Leo. It was so good. We hosted Leo the show last Sunday.
That's
You know,
something.
we
Yeah.
were talking about in terms of reaching out. You know, the donor, they have the money already.
Right.
How well could you convince them to give that money?
Exactly.
That's another thing. So that's where we need the data or research data, and people to have the expertise, the knowledge, area, expert opinion to put all those
Mm-hmm.
things together. And the money is there. ERC, I'm so excited to even hear that ERC is funding this program.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
from that we be hearing from ERC in terms of funding program in Liberia. So for them to even come out to sponsor that program, that's a very good news for us
You
to
know,
Yeah.
hear.
and Taratoro, not to cut you off. The ESC is heavily involved when it comes to justice issues, not only gender justice but racial justice, climate justice, hunger. You know, and a lot of justice issues. The ELC is greatly involved in it. So I mean, the Lutheran Church in
And
Liberia
not
can
only with
use
the LCL though, with Lutheran churches around Africa
the
as well.
churches, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying that the LCL can use this as an opportunity with the recommendation that you guys are providing, and with the expert analysis from or our previous guests, that the LCL can build on this and say, listen, let's call people, come to a drawing table, gather some data, put up a good proposal, and say, listen, this is what we want, because this is what I got it from Leo the last time. So this is what we want to do, because he would have said, you know what, let's build another reading room for people in Liberia. You understand? Initially, when he started, he said, according to him, when the idea first came was to build a library. Library sound good, but they're going to ask you a question. Isn't there any library in Liberia? People, they have reading room, or students should go to the American library, the American library up on Benson Street, I think on Benson Street or on Broad Street, should go to the American library. But this is totally different. It's a resource center. That's what makes it unique, So we should be able to tell the donor, say, listen, this is what we want to do for Liberia, and especially the issue of counseling. I mean, we have so much trauma in Liberia, okay, especially when it comes to this. Every time you watch on social media, you watch 10 videos, 8 out of 10 videos will have to do with something like some gender-based violence some way.
Yeah.
8 out of 10, from Liberia. So they should use this as an opportunity to gather more data, do a good proposal, and say, listen, this is what we want to do for lasting, sustainability of this program. Those are some of the innovative ideas. But if we wait again and say, okay, we want to go and defend what we've done in the past 3 years, there are chances that you're not going to get it. Or maybe a donor will say, you know what, okay, we've seen your report, but okay, we can help you. Now she had just said that she confirmed that 10% had gone. So it should be 10% added, but 10% gone. I mean, it may not be due to their fault, but they should use this as an opportunity, to propel them for a bigger donor that will come and support and say, this is what we want, to sustain this program, for our church. And remember now, the Lutheran Church in Liberia have been number one on so many fronts: health, education, preaching, teaching, healing, ministry. Our three core values, we have been number one, and we have been telling the state of affairs in these areas. So, I mean, it is another Lutheran Church in Liberia.
I think we wanted on the program now. We guests having problem, and we are getting a lot from her.
Yeah, we have gotten a lot from her. Yeah, but Toto, I just want to say this quickly. Our guest coming next Sunday. I mean, folks, this is one of the programs that you don't want to miss. Right after this program, the next program is going to be our Bishop Hour. So the next 2 Sundays, invite someone to invite another person. Tell someone about my Lutheran Connection. To our viewers, we know we have one of our brother, or few of our viewers there in India. One of our brother was there, and someone was also following us from East Africa, and we have some people following from Australia. So please let us send out the message. This Sunday is gonna be, I mean, it's gonna be a tough talking one. The Reverend Bartholomew B. Cully. I haven't seen him or heard from him in a long time. So I'm waiting for this show.
We'll be
excited. Yeah.
Excited for that. So, couple, are you there? You want to give your party closest statement?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to give your closest statement?
Yeah, okay. But we all have that. Sis Henrietta, she's doing a good work. There are a lot of challenges, especially the one that grabbed my heart when it comes to the court issue. Yeah, no one would not want to seek justice, and especially where someone is hurt, and then the matter is taken to court, and at the end of the day, you cannot see any justice. Justice cannot be done because of our court process. I just want to encourage her that she should not give up. Much as a victim, even if it were me as a victim, every time you go in for this issue, it cannot be resolved. It cannot even be touched. Since last year, you get one case in court, and it cannot even suffix on the docket before I would say it will be discussed. That's a serious issue, and it's heartbreaking. I just want to encourage her to keep on her good work. She shouldn't give up. Yeah, let her continue to work for the victim up there, and also in the interest of our church. Another thing I took key interest in is the issue of the skill training. The skill training is very important in the sense that you teach someone how to fish, right? It's not all of the time you will give somebody money, but once the person learn how to fish, the person will not come to you tomorrow to say, oh, give me this. The person already know what to do with their hand. This is why I asked her whether there's any follow-up done to see whether those people that were trained, they are implementing what they learned. And she said, yes, most of them, they can do the follow-up. And it's good like that. So I created key interest in the skill training, but I don't know whether the training is organized by them or they send these people to the school and they bear the cost. If they send these people to the school and bear the cost, and now the budget have been reduced by 10%, I don't know how they're going to generate this funding when it comes to training those people. So I think that could be a project all by itself to generate funds to teach someone how to fish. They can wrap their head around that and see how best they can come up with a project to help train people when it comes to skill training, to empower people, empowering people. Like the last time for a year, we got this Sudanese girl. She has an empowerment program called T. She teach people how to sew. They carry a lot of skill training programs. So one time our pastor and Abu were just lecturing like couple, it better you teach someone how to fish. So I don't know if they can do a project and see how best on our end and see how best we can talk about it when it comes to skill training, it comes to training of women, training victims, she can look into that. But that's my key interest, how to teach young people how to train our women. Like I said, when we were in leadership at Partnersville, our department we send like it was the first two that we sponsor at the national women level in the soap making. And I tell you, those women when they came, all we told them was do your report, tell us what you want, and we'll provide it. And you do the first product. And they did what they could do. And from that, like you learn it. Myself, I was curious to learn from them too, from what they learn. And I tell you, up to now, the women can still produce that soap. They liquid soap what you can use for the bathroom, for the dishes. The women they can produce it. So if someone know how to do that, you think they will go and sit down and beg someone? No, they won't do it. You do your soap, Sunday you carry it to church or you carry it in the market, you sell it. That's another source of income. So I just want to encourage her. Do not feel tired. Do not give up. Her continue her work. And she should come on us, maybe come up with some program that she think we can chip in our little resources. She can come on us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kobo, for that point. Like we said earlier, one of the beauty of the platform is not just for the just talk, the talk, but to be proactive, where we can help to engage those that come on the show when they have good idea for to work along with them, to empower them. Like we normally do with the youth. When we host, we not just host in the youth here, but also part of that program where we contribute financially to help to empower them. So wherever our host, I think maybe she had internet problem, but she listen to her when she needs some support that she think the platform can be or help in that process, they will reach out to us and they will help to provide some necessary support. I will keep waiting for last because he will do the closing and the after the show. But I will get Elijah. Elijah, in your closing statement,
Oh,
uh,
I thought I
what,
already did the closing statement. I just said
but
we
just
we
so the
applaud
what
Sis
I just
character for the
hold on,
work that they've done,
Elijah,
and
Elijah,
pray that
can you
God can help them,
Elijah, you hearing
continue to
me?
do this work.
Elijah, you hearing me?
I'm hearing you. You
Yeah,
hearing me
yeah.
too?
Yeah, I was talking, but you're talking. But what I wanted to hear from you, your parties in there, I wanted to hear from your expectation for the for the response, the question, and the answer from our host. What do you think? What was the what was the expectation on the host about her?
Well, she presented. She answered questions like she knows what she's doing. She understands the role, and I think she understands the challenges associated with the work that she's doing, and she understands the need as well. So the expectation was, I think, for me, it was met, and she delivered well. And I think our listening audience as well listen to the kind of work. I think a lot of people in the LCL, they didn't know that the LCL was kind of involved with this kind of work. And with the exposure today, with the information coming forth, I think she might be receiving a lot of calls and people finding out what she's doing and how they can help. And I think that's the reason why we are here to kind of showcase some of the things that the LCA is doing. If you can remember in the past, we've been talking about information dissemination. The LCA is doing a whole lot of things, but they have to work on their PR system. The LCL does not have a real robust PR system to put out the kind of work, the kind of contribution the church has done to society, especially in Liberia. The LCL has contributed a lot, and it's still contributing a lot to the rehabilitation or the reconciliation process of our country. So we're doing a lot, but we're not saying those things. Those things are just in our cycle. So it appears that those things are not happening, but the church is really working. So, but the more you get the information out there, the more you attract other people who are in the similar field. Like they will come to you. Don't you might be surprised. Some donor will call you and say, "We want to work with you. We heard about what you are doing. And we think this is good. But if nobody is hearing about what you are doing, and it just underneath, you are there, you're struggling with the little micro resources you get, and you are doing so much more. Like we're talking about our trauma healing and reconciliation program. That program has been a huge success in Liberia. And it is still, as we speak today, we are still providing psychosocial training for people, and the need for psychosocial training in Liberia is enormous. We cannot overemphasize it, especially right now when we have half of our, I don't know what it is, half or almost the young population that's coming up. Like almost every community in Liberia has a Zogo headquarters. Almost every community when you go to Liberia. It breaks my heart. Like when I see the generation that coming after us, and you see the next generation that is ahead of us. So when we are leaving the stage, who's coming to take on Liberia? You look at that generation down there. Almost everybody now, the means of survival in Africa or in Liberia is to ride motorcycle. So we have to start deriving or developing skills or other methodologies that can help empower this particular generation. How do we redirect them? And the psychosocial training program or the general justice program is very much important. So if you start being innovative and want to be the leader in that field, you have to put on some real serious thinking cap and develop a robust program, giving your data and your experience, and put the information out there and look for partners. Beside the ELC, there are other partners out there that could come in to help make this thing very big and help you go forward. So we're going to provide the ideas, recommendations, and we pray that God will give the church the strength to continue to do what she's doing. And especially the ELCA, we say thank you to the ELCA for continuing to support the LCA as well. The ELCA is a big partner to the Lutheran Church in Liberia. If you minus the ELCA and the ELCA from the Lutheran Church in Liberia, we would not have a central office because these two partners, they are the main partners that are helping the LCA move today. So we want to commend the ELCA for their support towards this program, and we pray that God will give the leaders the innovative mind to expand this program beyond where it is today.
Yeah, thank you, Elijah, for that very good point you raised. To our viewer out there, thanks for tuning in. Those are that recognized after the recognition was done. We say thank you for tuning in to our show. We hope to see you there Sunday for another good edition of the show. We'll be hosting the Reverend BBC on the platform here. We're very interested in. We want to say special thanks to our host for coming on. I know she having some internet problem, and it's Liberians as usual. So we will tell all to Woody to give a closest statement, and at the same time, after that, Woody will be closing down the show for us. But Woody, in your closest
Aquila
statement,
will pray for us.
Not only Aquila, they're going to be leading a Bible study for the entire evangelical Lutheran
Oh
Church in
that's
America.
why.
We'll
So
pray
that's the
for
reason
us.
why. That's the reason why I made him last. So we do all those things there.
You know,
But Woody,
yeah.
before your closest statement,
Yeah.
please talk about the time difference on
Yeah.
the show.
So we first of all, I want to say kudos to you, Dr. Tudu. I mean, you coordinated the show, perfectly. We want to say to our viewers that sorry about that. In the US, Canada, we had a time change. So today our time went forward. So we had a little glitch somewhere, but we're going to remain constant, and we're going to continue to follow the time that we have. So we want to apologize. I mean, I just caught myself. We had a mother in our church, may her soul rest in peace, and sometimes I would just come on and say, "Oh, I apologize." He said, "Well, you apologize too much, man. We want you to apologize. Do the things you're supposed to do." So y'all had me to apologize. Now I caught myself. I'm here again apologizing. But yeah, so I mean, it was a wonderful show, and again, like Dr. Toto said, next Sunday, we hope you can tune in, please, and share the show for us. And the following Sunday, we're gonna have our bishop, the Right Reverend, like the G. Victor Patmore is gonna be here with us. And folks, the month of April is gonna be a big one. Our sister is gonna be in charge of this team, and she's gonna be steering the ship for us. So we can't wait. You know, our sister from
before I'm cutting, did you say the Reverend Federative Partner will be here next week on our BBC?
No, I said the Sunday following next Sunday. The Sunday after that will be last Sunday, will be the Right Reverend Dr. G. Victor Patmore, Bishop Owl. He's gonna be here. And next Sunday is gonna be the Reverend B.B. Colley. You know, I as an alcohol, I remember one prayer from my dear friend and brother, the Reverend V. Zexter Lila Yapaswo. So may the Lord be with you all.
And also with you.
Father God, your children, your Father, in Jesus' name.
Amen.